Hi everyone, people of Earth. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I felt called to do reading real quick, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm Sarah with Flow State Awakening. It's been a while. That's for sure. And I finally feel like I've come back above water, like I've been kind of in it, really stuck in, a lot of stuff. And going through this, wading through the waters. This card to me always really represents kind of utilizing the intellect and asking for help and using kind of like talking, therapy, those kinds of methods to really just navigate through the waters of life, which is, emotions, particularly like intense emotions like sadness, despair, loss, that pain, the stuff that really kind of like stays within us, gets triggered, all that stuff. And yeah, this is where I've been at. I've been this lady wrapped in a blanket, getting waded through the waters. But this card also comes with a really positive, promising kind of message, because on the other side of this water is this new land, and it's a sign that you're moving on, you're coming away from those difficult times. And I'm like, thank God. But yeah, just getting through it has been challenging, that's for sure, especially going through a lot of this alone, which is something I've never really had to do. And I've had a lot of support online, on the phone and stuff, but not really having physical support has been something that's been a little more challenging for me, because I live in the swamp in Florida. Let's see what kind of message is coming through right now. How are you doing? How's everyone doing? Wonderful. That's too much. One more. All right, so what I'm really feeling here is that we've been kind of weighing in between this kind of like toxic masculinity and kind of toxic femininity. And so I'll kind of explain what that means. So to me, the toxic masculinity is the need to like force, to push, to control, to like go, like oh my gosh, this needs to be get done, and this needs to get done, now. Like the push, the just it's a very forceful energy, but it serves a purpose. We need to push ourselves, we need to be disciplined, we need to have that kind of positive force, I guess, and this will make sense as I explain it. Because so the Emperor represents the divine masculine, it's the father of the deck. It's very much that masculine energy. Masculine energy is very logical, is very driven, it's very focused, it's very strong, powerful, assertive. But the toxic masculinity is when we push too much, when we push to the point that we're kind of hurting ourselves, when we're, risking burnout but going anyways. And also just kind of like acting out of flow, acting out of alignment. And what that is, it's like if you have the visual of a stream, and you could just row with the stream, just paddle, let the stream propel you, but also paddle, propel yourself, keep, pushing in the flow. Being out of alignment, being out of flow would be like paddling upstream, going against the current, going up, away from, or not even away, just that struggle. It's not as easy to paddle when you're going against the current. It's that resistance. That's the word I'm looking for. Resistance. So that's that toxic masculinity that we've been dealing with, that, wanting to push ourselves, wanting to, go, to keep going, but something really calling for us to just slow down and just go with the current. But when we don't honor that flow, that toxic femininity, when we stay stuck, when we stay stagnant, when we, our cup, or, instead of staying, oh, wow, okay, it's clicking. not so much staying stagnant, but giving too much. Like our cup is pouring out. We're just giving in that forceful, toxic masculinity way. Because so these cards in reverse, to some people, reverse card meanings mean the opposite of the card. To some people, it means that the energy's more focused within. I see both of those, but I also feel into it in the moment. And what I'm feeling for these is that it's the opposite of the positive expression of these energies. So, Ace of Cups in reverse, like I said, your cup's pouring out. You're not replenishing and giving, you're not giving to yourself and giving to others in a balanced way. You're just giving, pushing, forcing. That's that toxic masculinity where you just give, not like give and receive. That's that balanced masculine and feminine working together. It's giving to the extent that you can, giving to where your energy resources can, tolerate that, can sustain that. But that toxic out of alignment sense is that just, giving in just kind of giving in hopes to receive, giving too much in a sort of desperation, really wanting to receive. And so that is kind of what we've been weighing in between. And so the overall lesson here, oh my gosh, wow. One more. Yeah, wow. So the overall lesson here really is, how can you ask for help? Like, how can you ask for help? Are you asking for help? And how can you ask for help to kind of get yourself out of this dark night of the soul? What does help you when you're really feeling down in the dumps, low, like freaking, well, both of these, like this. Beaten up by life, like life is freaking stabbing you in the back and like you're trudging through the storm, like no resources, fucking broken shit. Sorry. Broken bones. But this card comes with a reminder that, like, sometimes help is literally right in front of you, but you don't want to take it because either you don't feel like you're deserving of help, you don't feel like you're worth it, like, like you're worthy of help, exactly, because, there's this stained glass window, usually this window in this card represents like a church, going into a church for help, but these people are just kind of walking by that window, and that window is that beacon of help, like just go in and ask for help instead of just walking by. So, and this card came out in reverse, and when this card comes out in reverse, it always means to me that we're coming out of that these swords are coming out, because upside down it looks like the swords are falling out of the guy. So how can you ask for help and really embody that which you seek? Because oftentimes, when we're seeking something outside of us, it's because we have this kind of void within. There's something that we are lacking, that we think we need something outside of us in order to kind of fulfill that. Whether it's material gain, whether it's a relationship, whether it's, a change in scenery, whatever it is. We always want that to fill some sort of void within. And now that is all in divine flow, all in divine balance. And I believe that that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because when we're feeling that void within, when something's lacking within, it is what propels us to ask for help, to navigate those waters, go into the problem, seek a solution. And, like I said, that void within can propel us to move towards that which is in greater alignment with us. So, for example, I've been really realizing that the environment that I'm living in, where I'm at right now, it's not where I want to be forever. And that void, that lack that I'm feeling within, that desire for like community, but community that is, like me, that resonates with me, and that I don't have to try and fit a mold and put on a mask to be around, etc. That lack is propelling me to seek that and to move and make, choices and take actions that will bring me what I seek, bring me what I really truly want, which is that, like-minded community environment. And I'm realizing that I'm not going to find that where I am in Florida. And it's helping me see that I do want to move home, that I do want to be around people in that vibe that I've grown up around, etc. So, as I said, that void, that lack, that thing that we're really missing, that thing that's really hurting us and that's really just kind of like, making us feel less than, making us feel like there is something lacking, that lack, that void, that kind of pain, it's propelling us towards kind of our destiny, because Ace of Swords to me is always kind of that divine inspiration. It's that the downloads from the universe, channeling, really just connecting with the divine, with a higher power in order to bring knowledge into the earth plane. And so in reverse especially, that means like creating the container, taking the time and space necessary in order to really bring about this change, bring about this state of being that we want. And so, Knight of Wands, Knight of Wands, how can we take inspired action in that aligned, flowing, divine feminine to get to what we desire, to bring about change? All right, now I want one final card. And I gotta just say, community. So, all the answers we seek are within. That's High Priestess in reverse. High Priestess is that divine knowledge. It's alchemy, it's magic, it's intuition, spiritual energy, spiritual knowledge, psychic abilities, and then in reverse, it's everything we seek. It all starts within, that void that we want to fulfill both externally and internally. It's never fully going to be filled unless we fill it within and without. So for example, me moving, there's been so many occasions where I am in these friend groups or I enter into these social situations where I feel like I'm alone in a crowded room. I'm surrounded by people, but I feel so alone. That's that wound within that I've been really needing to heal, that, that's crap. And needing to really heal that within, I've moved so many times, and every time I do, I make friends with people, and then I move so far away from them, so I'm like so far away from them, so I don't have community. So I've realized that there's this wound within me that just feels like I'm too different, I'm too separate from everybody. So I never feel like I ever fully fit in. And so healing that wound within, honoring my differences, recognizing that we're stronger when we're different, that when we honor our uniqueness and all of our facets and interesting shit, then there's so much more depth and value to life, the human experience, etc. So healing that wound within is also helping me come into alignment with this true, full community that's not going to be, 1,000 miles away or even 20, 30 miles away from me. So I see that, the more I heal that energy, like I said, within, the more I can move towards these situations that I want and manifest this community, and it won't get ripped away from me like has happened again and again and again. And, So really, really good positive message for today. Definitely needed that. And if you'd like to book a one-on-one reading with me, definitely check out my website, flowstateawakening.com. Link will be in bio, description, crap, for sure. Balance. Much love, peeps.